Did you notice Taehyung's lip piercing? Many saw it and immediately thought of Jungkook, because he also has one in the same place. It's as if Taehyung always finds a way to leave a small sign, something subtle but clear to those who know him well. And those who have followed Taekook for a long time know that these details aren't mere coincidences. They're gestures that speak louder than words. Taehyung has always been like this. Every time something new appears, whether it's a photo, a video, or an update, there's always something that connects it to Jungkook. And that's what makes his followers notice every little movement, every choice, because they know there's a message behind it. Jungkook and Taehyung have this way of communicating without speaking, of reflecting each other. Sometimes it seems like everything they do is designed to remind each other. But while fans enjoy these signs, the company seems determined to erase what makes them unique. It's all too obvious how they use Jungkook for content that doesn't do him justice, while Taehyung is limited or hidden away. What's most upsetting is seeing them remove things that mean a lot to fans, like the fan cam of Love Me Again by Nuna V, someone who has always supported Taehyung. These kinds of decisions are exhausting because they make you feel like they don't value the work or the affection of those who follow both of them. And then there's the difference in treatment. Jungkook is the one most involved in HYBE's plans, while others are barely touched by that exposure. People notice that something isn't right. That they always seem to turn to him when they need content, and at the same time, they don't let him be himself. Everything becomes a fabricated story, something that loses its meaning when you know there are real people behind it, with a shared history. The worst part is seeing how some fans support it just because it benefits their favorite. They forget what's going on with the other members, and that hurts. It's not fair that Taehyung or Jungkook have to bear this kind of manipulation or constant comparisons. They both deserve respect, they deserve to be recognized for who they truly are, not for the image the company wants to project. Taekook doesn't need grand proof to demonstrate what exists between them. They've always shown it with those small things that, though they may seem simple, mean so much. In every gesture, in every post, it's clear they're thinking of each other. That's why, when the company tries to hide or distract attention, the fans aren't fooled. They've been seeing the same thing for years, interpreting those glances, those details that always reappear. Every update feels like a message. That's why, even if they try to divert attention with other content or empty strategies, Taekook's true fans know what's going on. They know that behind it all, Taehyung and Jungkook are still themselves, finding ways to be close, to remember each other no matter what's happening around them. On the internet, everything seems to turn into a battleground. Some Taekook fans argue amongst themselves, others are swayed by rumors, and the haters just try to sow hatred. Several fandoms use Taekook's name to gain attention, trying to link their favorites to one of them. And while all this is happening, the atmosphere is filled with unnecessary drama, pointless comments, and meaningless comparisons. Amidst all this noise, many forget that beyond the screens, Taehyung and Jungkook are still themselves, two people who understand each other, respect each other, and support each other at all times. While social media boils with opinions and fights, Taekook calmly continues to show what truly matters. They don't do it with grand words or planned gestures, but with sincere looks, with the way they care for each other without needing to say a word. When one needs support, the other is there. When one shines, the other smiles. Their connection doesn't depend on what's posted, but on what's shared in silence, in those details that only they seem to understand. Some prefer to focus on the chaos, but the truth is that Taekook doesn't compete. They never have. They've always been each other's greatest support, inspiration, and strength. That connection they display naturally is what makes them special. It's not about proof or theories, but about constant respect and affection. In every glance, in every gesture, you can see that they trust each other and care for one another regardless of what others say. For them, love isn't in speeches or exaggerated displays. It's in small actions, in the years they've shared, in how they prioritize each other. Taehyung always shows that he's willing to protect Jungkook, and Jungkook responds with the same loyalty. It's not something that needs explaining. You see it, you feel it, you perceive it even without words. That kind of love doesn't need validation or defense, it simply exists and sustains itself. All the drama some people create is just noise. Fights, rumors, assumptions, none of that changes what's truly between them. Fans who understand this know there's no need to get distracted by negativity. There are too many new accounts and fake profiles created just to stir things up, just to divide. That's why it's best to stay focused on what's real, on what truly matters: Taehyung and Jungkook's individual activities, their growth, their genuine bond. In the end, that's what defines Taekook: constant support, a sincere connection, the way they care for and understand each other without needing to explain. Beyond the rumors, the haters, or the comparisons, they remain the same, united, calm, and steadfast. Because while the world argues, Taekook continues to demonstrate that true love is silent. Taekook forever. Sometimes it seems they don't even realize how much they reveal with just a gesture. Jungkook has a way of looking at Taehyung that he doesn't repeat with anyone else. It's not an intense or forced look, it simply arises spontaneously, with a calmness he doesn't usually have with others. There's something about the way he looks at him, as if time stops for a moment, as if everything around them loses its weight. And the curious thing is that Taehyung responds in kind, without needing words or obvious signals. They both seem to understand that this small space between them belongs to them, even when there are people, cameras, or noise around. They don't plan it, they don't seek it out, but it happens, again and again. Anyone who observes them closely notices it immediately. You don't have to be a fan to realize that there's something different between them, a way of communicating that doesn't fit the norm. It's a connection that doesn't need explaining. They don't look at each other because they have to, but because they want to. There are small, minimal, almost imperceptible gestures that say more than any words. Sometimes it's the way Jungkook leans toward Taehyung without thinking, or how Taehyung gives him space with a naturalness he doesn't show to others. There's no effort to show off, no intention to provoke anything. It's simply their way of being, of connecting. And anyone who has seen them together several times understands, their connection feels different. Their love, if you can call it that, isn't displayed with grand gestures. It's in the simple things, in the years they've shared, in the small moments that go unnoticed by others. Taehyung has this quiet way of caring, of being attentive without making it obvious. And Jungkook, though more reserved, always responds with that silent loyalty that's only seen with him. No explanations are needed because it's evident. It's in the way they seek each other out even without looking directly, in how they recognize each other effortlessly in a crowd. There's a trust there that isn't built overnight. It's something felt more than spoken, something that needs no defense or validation. Sometimes it seems the world wants to turn everything into a rumor, a fabricated story. But between them, nothing is forced. The arguments, the assumptions, the comments, all of that sounds foreign when you truly observe them. There's no acting, no attempt to impress. It's just them, in their simple way of connecting, of touching for barely a second, of sharing a smile for no reason. Those gestures that seem so simple are the ones that most reveal what lies beneath. And although people can say what they want, there's one thing no one can deny. Jungkook doesn't act like this with anyone else, and neither does Taehyung. It's not about favoritism or staged scenes. It's something that happens naturally, as if their ways are understood without even trying. Every glance, every brief gesture, has a weight that can't be imitated. It's not a story that needs to be told, because it speaks for itself. Perhaps that's what distinguishes them most. They don't need to say it or prove it. They are simply there, enveloped in that calm that surrounds them whenever their paths cross. The place, the time, and who is watching them don't matter. It's as if, for an instant, everything else fades away. And in that shared, wordless silence, everything is understood.